Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Trooper Zachary Fink is the reason why we're here today. He's being remembered at Christ Fellowship Church in Port St. Lucie. Fink died more than a week ago in a crash on I-95.
In just a few minutes from now, a procession will begin, moving Fink's body from the ACOG funeral home to here, the church, Christ Fellowship Church, for the funeral services. We want to take you now. You are looking live, a view from Chopper 5 over the funeral home. The procession, we know, will head east on Tradition Parkway and then turn north at Village Parkway before arriving here at the church.
So that route is about 2.5 miles. We know that police are going to be stopping traffic as that hearse makes its way to the church. And so you'll see some of the ins and outs of all of that here.
We want to go to our Matt Cesny right now. He is live near that ACOG funeral home on Tradition Parkway. Matt?
Yes, good morning. I'm standing right next to the camera. You're looking at the live picture just outside the ACOG funeral home. There's been a lot of movement within the last 5 minutes here. We saw a lot of mourners coming out, and then of course an FHP honor detail coming out with American flags folded. They are now standing at attention facing the hearse that is ready to start this funeral procession. There are more uniformed personnel coming out, and now we actually do see the casket of Trooper Zachary Fink now coming out. Everyone standing at attention. All the law enforcement personnel off to my right here are all saluting, including the ones behind me who are now blocking the roadway now. There are police officers, sheriff's deputies, and FHP personnel, I'm told, from all over the state of Florida, from Monroe County in the Keys all the way up into North Florida in the Tallahassee area and beyond. All of them at attention, all saluting. There are a countless number of motorcycles that are here waiting to lead this procession right now. I talked to one member of FHP, a sergeant here off camera, who told me it's an extremely solemn day. Things like this are days that none of them ever want to have to go through. But here they are, doing this ceremony to honor this 26-year-old trooper who was killed last week. What's going to happen now, we believe, is they will prepare the procession. There are, as you might imagine, a number of law enforcement vehicles, in addition to the close family and friends of Troopers Inc., who will need now to get to vehicles. So we're not hearing any motorcycles starting up yet, but when we do, we'll know that that is a clear indication that this procession is ready to go. You know, as you watch this, it is a very precise and very detailed program that law enforcement follows in these situations. Obviously, to bring the utmost honor to this fallen trooper. There are still, well, I'm still seeing a couple of the honor guard holding American flags. There are commands being given now to this honor guard as they move slowly in front of the motorcycle unit. This looks like the lead motorcycle unit from FHP that will lead this procession to the church from here. And now there's some command given to the motorcycle troopers, and it looks like they will start to get ready. I'm starting to hear some motorcycles. I mean, you can get a sense, I guess, from that picture as to how many different law enforcement personnel are here. Obviously, the brown shirts are highway patrol. The white shirts would be sheriff's deputies. I assume that's going to be St. Lucie County, closest to FHP. And then, of course, the dark shirts are municipal police officers, Port St. Lucie and all other cities around here. Even on our drive up, we could see police vehicles from all over South Florida moving north on I-95 in Palm Beach, Broward County, Dade County as well. I was behind the Davie Mounted Police for a while on I-95. So they're all here to give this honor to Trooper Zachary Fink. The hearse is closed now. The back door is closed, and it looks as if everyone is kind of just, I think they're waiting now for family and friends to get into their vehicles. And as I look to my left, there is a really long line of FHP vehicles that will be moving through here. So I would imagine that at any moment here, this procession is going to get underway and start to move down away from the funeral home to the church. We're going to keep an eye on it. You're going to keep this picture up. You're going to keep looking at it, but I'm going to throw it back to you in the studio right now.
Okay, Matt, thank you. A very still moment. A very still moment, as Matt just described, very powerful as this procession is getting underway. Law enforcement from all over the state, all over the country, we are seeing here to honor Father Fink.
There is no rush today. This is going to be a very stately service honoring a hero, someone who signed up to serve and protect. Right now we're joined by the Senior Vice President of the Police Benevolent Association, Mick Hill. Mick, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
We appreciate your perspective. We appreciate you taking this time with us. The last 11 days, what has it been like for you, your brothers and sisters in law enforcement, all leading up to this day where we are honoring Trooper Fink?
It's been a difficult time of adjustment. From the moment that the tragedy occurred, there is a mechanism in place to immediately support the trooper and his family, as well as the co-workers and the profession as a whole. The normal procedure is an announcement is made of the unfortunate line of duty death, and that mechanism then takes place. Whereas the co-workers, troopers, are then sent to the location, normally hospital. They stay with Trooper for the entire duration. So there will always be someone by his side. You are never alone. And unfortunately, he paid the ultimate sacrifice by his actions during this horrific event.
The Florida Police Benevolent Association, you guys are 36,000 members strong, from the northern part to the southern part of the state. Something like this just reverberates throughout.
Yes, due to the fact that Trooper Fink is a member. He's a member of the Police Benevolent Association. He's a member of our family. So he's a member of our union, but more importantly, he's a member of the police community. And again, it's this tragedy which brings us all together.
Mr. McHale, please stay here with us. We need to go back to our Matt Cesney for a moment here as this procession is getting underway. Matt?
I'm right here. Yes, the procession has started for the procession has started for Trooper Zachary Fink right now. The FHP motorcycles have now started to move, and now comes the St. Lucie County Sheriff. And there'll be more. These are all motorcycle. It looks like Miami-Dade is here. I mean, these are all motorcycle law enforcement from all over the state of Florida who are participating in this. They are not as you might imagine, moving at a very high speed. They're going very slow down Tradition Parkway right now, and this will go on for a little bit. It's, as I look back down around, it seems like there are a lot more motorcycle personnel lined up to take part in this. I just saw North Palm Beach police go by. Osceola County Sheriff, deputies on their motorcycles going by. This will all lead the procession of the hearse and then proceed on to the church. Flagler County Sheriff going by. It is an incredible honor. There are only about 2 or 3 cars that are being held up as Tradition Parkway is blocked, but even one person got out of his car to just kind of give his own salute by holding his hand over his heart as this passes all in front of us. Even more sheriffs going by, Hillsborough County going by now. And then there will be what looks to be like 2 final FHP motorcycles that will follow behind. More motorcycles now. This might be the last of the motorcycles in the procession, and then an FHP car will lead the hearse with Trooper Zachary Fink, and that also has a motorcycle escort as well. And so the procession now well underway, and as you look down Tradition Parkway, we're still waiting for the cars and vehicles, and now they are starting to move. They're going to come out and turn right into the frame. You can see some of the people who are getting out of their cars stopping to honor it as well. And now the vehicles are moving out. The hearse makes its left turn down Tradition Parkway now. Just as impressive as the motorcycles that went by, there will now be a long line of law enforcement SUVs and cars will go by. Palm Beach County Sheriff here, State Trooper. Our Todd Wilson, I believe, is a little further down on the procession route as we watch this make its way away from the funeral home and now towards the church. So I'm gonna throw it to Todd Wilson further down the line. Todd?
Yeah. Well, Matt, like you said, you were saying it so eloquently that this is a sad time, and let me show you. Let me step out of the way so you can see what's going on. They're moving quite slow. The procession here. This is, like I said, a sad time that a young man who has made what some people would say is a cliche, but it is so fitting at this moment. He made the ultimate sacrifice in trying to stop a fleeing suspect, and to see this, it is. I think it's fitting to say it is beautiful to see this procession, just to see how many different law enforcement agencies that have come together to show support and respect for a man that is one of their own, a brother, a father, a son, an uncle, to show that respect. As you can see, they're moving quite slowly. And like Matt said, my colleague, they're from everywhere. Flagler County, Duval, I've seen Miami-Dade, Monroe County, everyone coming together to show that respect for their fallen comrade. Now, the interesting thing is that along the way trying to get here, I've seen a number of people where they just come out of their house, they're walking and they're standing, and some people have been saluting, some have been praying, and as you can see, like I said, it is a beautiful sight to see all of these folks come together, law enforcement, people on the side of the road, family, friends, to show respect to this young man. Zachary Fink, trooper with FHP, will be long remembered for sure. Back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. I'm Chris Gilmore here on the Tradition and Village Parkway side of the procession. We haven't quite seen the main portion of that procession yet, but you can see the preparations for it now. Law enforcement and citizenry standing along the side of Tradition Parkway right now, paying their salute to the fallen trooper, Zachary Fink, as they make that final approach to the Christ Fellowship Church, where you know the funeral is going to happen in just a few. But as we've been mentioning, Todd and Matt alike, this is the law enforcement family coming together. We've seen agencies from north, east, south, and west, all right now standing at full attention, presenting arms as they await that initial approach of the procession and the hearse carrying their brother. Right now, I do want to toss to Todd, who's further up on the procession, probably seeing the main portion of it right now. Todd?
That's right, Chris, and slowly that procession is making its way. As I look off camera to my right, I am starting to slowly see those blue lights, the red lights, and really seeing that casket moving, coming slower and slower towards me. Let me step out of the way because it is about to pass now. And here it is, slowly moving with the blue, red, and white lights. Squad cars from all over Florida. Let's just take a second to take it all in. Okay, the line is long and it is moving slow out of respect for Zachary Fink, Trooper Zachary Fink, 26 years old, that lost his life earlier this month. I'm going to toss back to my colleague, Chris Gilmore. Chris, what are you seeing there?
Todd, I'm standing next to the camera shot right now, seeing the massive procession that you were just mentioning, the motorcycle units from FHP, but also surrounding sheriff's offices right now and police departments. This is the honor that they give one of their own who has fallen in the line of duty a few minutes ago. We heard all law enforcement to stand at attention. As you see, those law enforcement officers who are directing traffic do right now. I even see some people waiting in traffic doing the same, paying respects to Trooper Fink, who called this area Tradition, Port St. Lucie, his home. And this is a fitting homecoming for somebody who gave everything in the line of duty to protect and serve. These troopers, these police officers, these law enforcement officials, certainly thinking that this could have been any one of them. And they're giving him a fitting salute as they make their way to the Christ Fellowship Church. This is the Tradition Parkway and Village Parkway corner of the procession. Law enforcement, motorcycle units, as we mentioned, from all over the state. A solemn moment, certainly, as they give him a procession befitting somebody who sacrificed everything just earlier this month while pursuing a felon along I-95 along the Treasure Coast. We know that he leaves behind family, a fiance in the area, mother, father, stepmother, and multiple friends and multiple colleagues who he calls family that we're seeing right now, taking their brother home. Christ Fellowship Church is where the funeral will take place. We do have colleagues all along the route, as you can see. Certainly more than 100, I would say in the hundreds of law enforcement right now from all over the state, honoring Trooper Zachary Fink. Traffic in the area backed up, no one complaining right now, as we see several people standing at salute to honor the trooper who protected and served them the only way he knew how. You could also see residents of the area lining the street taking photos. I see some carrying American flags, understanding the moment that we're experiencing right now. You could see the officers from Stewart, Martin County, also standing at full attention and salute. As I believe further down Tradition Parkway, we're starting to get our first glimpses of the hearse carrying Trooper Zachary Fink. A difficult moment, I think I heard Matt say earlier, one that no one wants to experience. And just now the call for all law enforcement to present arms in a salute. A massive salute for somebody who gave it all. That is our view of the hearse right now at the corner of Tradition Parkway and Village Parkway, flanked on both sides by FHP troopers and an even longer line of law enforcement behind him. As that hearse makes its turn onto Village Parkway, approaching Christ Fellowship Church, I do want to toss to my colleague, Megan McRoberts, who's also witnessing this procession right now. Megan?
Yes, I was just listening along to you, Chris. We're starting to see more troopers come in here to Christ Fellowship Church, of course, the final spot for today's memorial service for fallen trooper Zachary Fink. If you take a look over my shoulder now, you do see FHP troopers, other law enforcement making their way into the parking lot. As you've all been describing, so many law enforcement officers from so many different agencies making their way here to show their respects all across the state, west coast of the state. We believe perhaps there could even be officers from out of state. I did see one Iowa State Patrol cruiser within just a few minutes ago pull into the parking lot. So all these law enforcement officers wanting to be here, showing their respects. Of course, you pull into a parking lot on a morning like this, these troopers wake up, they put on their best dress, they come here reminded in sort of the harshest way really of the risks that they take every day on the job. As we look over here now, actually, we do see the lights from the motorcycles pulling closer to Christ Fellowship Church, the start of this motorcade, where so many people are here this morning waiting to welcome and receive Trooper Fink's family. You see flags along the sidewalk, people who said they planned for this morning, they wanted to be here to make sure that they showed their respects. They're heartbroken. There's moms out here, there's fathers out here, just wondering what a family like the Finks could be experiencing right now and feeling right now as they are part of this procession. So much here, so much support, you could say, so much that they just want to get through to the Finks family to tell them how much they appreciate the sacrifice that he made as they make this turn out into the church parking lot on motorcycle. As they make their way into the church parking lot, they will find mounted patrol by Miami police. Again, law enforcement agencies, cruisers from across the state. In this decorated farewell to Trooper Fink and a show of support for his family as they again make their way into the Christ Fellowship parking lot. State troopers here leading the way. State troopers followed by the sheriff's office, followed by police. Port St. Lucie Police, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, Martin County Sheriff's Office, Miami Police. Treasure Coast officers who may have at some point responded to cases with Trooper Fink, know him personally. As you see here, more law enforcement officers on motorcycle from across the state. Coral Gables Police here. We can see this motorcade of motorcycles. As far as we can see, truly, if you even look out toward the street, you see so many more motorcycles to come. As these motorcycles again make their way into Christ Fellowship Church, they pass by flags, people who have made it part of their morning, a plan to be here to show their support. Law enforcement flags, American flags, as they make their way into the church. Do you want to send it over to my colleague, Michael Williams, who is also at the church right now, seeing the other side of the property. Michael, those motorcycles now making their way toward you. What are you seeing?
You see the motorcycle escort as my photographer pans a bit to the left. From across 67 counties, they have come from all across Florida. The Florida Highway Patrol, police from agencies across our state, north to south, east to west. You see the flags in the distance. The too-practiced procession of grief. 53 times in its long history, the Florida Highway Patrol has seen one of their own fall in the line of duty. And today they come to honor 26-year-old Trooper Zachary Fink. As the motorcade processes by, I leave you for a moment with your own thoughts this day. Fellow law enforcement here, officers gathered again from across Florida. It's a day, it's a practiced ritual of grief, far too practiced. It's also a day where you see a duality, grief, but also celebration of life. In the program handed out about 26-year-old Trooper Zachary Fink, it talked about the hero. It also talked about the young man who at 6 years old growing up here said to his mom, "I just want to help." And he went on to do that and gave his life to service, 3 years, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper. And then in those split seconds that can last an eternity, in pursuit of a fleeing felon, he gave his life to protect the public. And so, a mother, a father, a fiance, his law enforcement brethren, grief-stricken, but also saluting him as a trooper, a fellow law enforcement officer. Somebody who said, "Today I will make a difference." And as this long motorcade rolls by, a salute to all that Zachary Fink was and all that his law enforcement brethren continue to try to be and are every day, taking on tough duty, often thankless, tragically, sometimes deadly. Gathered here on this sunlit and grief-stricken day in front of Christ Fellowship Church in Port St. Lucie. And far in the distance, as my photographer pans far in the distance, you see the pipe and drums. Again, gathered from Naples, from across Florida. As they draw closer, perhaps you can hear them. You see the flags in the distance, representing the great state of Florida. Trooper Zachary Fink's troop here. Family will be arriving momentarily, and again, we will let you listen as the wind carries the sounds of the pipe and drums, announcing the arrival for this service for 26-year-old Trooper Zachary Fink. We'll let you listen. His law enforcement brethren and honor guard, as far as my eye can see, here today to support a family and to say thank you to a 26-year-old who just wanted to help. As the pipe and drums come forward again from across Florida. And certainly law enforcement here in overwhelming presence, but I've seen people standing here from across our area looking on. At this time, this place, to salute someone who came home and had such a bright life ahead of him, and now a family left to cling to those memories with the promise that law enforcement will be there for them, always giving them the support that they need in these times. We talk about closure a lot, but for a family, for a fiance, time will pass. There's never true closure. Those scars may not and do ever heal. But at least they know they have men and women from across our state and indeed across the country gathered here this day who've made a solemn vow to be with them as part of the law enforcement family forever. Full honors outside about to be rendered as this procession makes its way inside Christ Fellowship Church. Look on with your own thoughts now. I'm with Mick McHale, Senior Vice President of the Florida Police Benevolent Association. As we watch the pipe and drums, sir, and as we said at the outset, are reminded far too often we've had this ritual of grief, and yet in it we also see the strength of our law enforcement community. Your thoughts here on behalf of the Florida PBA, sir?
Well, once again we gather for the tragedy involving Trooper Fink. And as you can see, there are members of law enforcement, not only throughout the United States, but throughout the world, who have responded to pay their respects to Trooper Fink in honor of him paying the ultimate sacrifice tragically.
What, given the dangers, the nature of the work, what is it about young men and women that make them say, I'll do it still?
Well, as I've learned about Fink, he had a calling. He had a calling from a very young age. He had a commitment to provide public safety, and the tragedy associated with his death should be utilized by everyone to understand that there are people that still believe in protecting others. And unfortunately for him, he took that oath, and now he's being laid to rest.
And we are reminded yet again of the solemnity of those words, that duty, and that spirit within a young man that said, today I'll make a difference. He paid for it with his life. But if there is a legacy, if there's a beacon the rest of the community can hold on to, that's a beautiful one to say, today I decided I wanted to try to help. I wanted to make that my life's work.
Yes, and you are seeing there are hundreds, if not thousands, of officers, members of law enforcement that never had the honor or pleasure to personally meet Trooper Fink. However, we stand shoulder to shoulder today in his memory so that his family and loved ones, and just as important, the community, could see we all are in this together.
We look on as the pipe and drums corps from across Florida are gathered here. And as full honors are rendered outside, and certainly this day as his mother, his father, his fiance gather here, have you had any moment or chance to speak to relatives or loved ones? Not asking you to reveal anything said privately, but just generally, have you had that opportunity?
No, I have not personally. However, our state trooper president, Bill Smith, has had direct contact with Trooper Fink's family and expressed our condolences, and has been an integral part in assisting the family during this tragic time.
We're reminded again, sir, as I talk to the Florida Police Benevolent Association, McHale, we're reminded in the most heart-stricken way that it's not those who put on the uniform only who serve. In a very real way, it is their loved ones as well. And this support and salute to Trooper Zachary Fink is so moving, but it's also a reminder in the days, months, and years to come, your vow is to be every bit as much by the side of that family. They're part of that law enforcement family for life.
Yes, it is not just words we will never forget. It's the actions that we take as well, because the coming months and years that will follow, the family will forever be in our hearts, and we will be a moment's notice away to render assistance.
We are reminded that he is the 53rd Florida Highway Patrol trooper to die in the line of duty in that agency's long and proud history in Florida. We've all had to watch this ritual of grief play out. For you personally, as they render honors, let's listen in. Stand by. The casket of Trooper Zachary Fink, now escorted by his brothers and sisters in the law enforcement community as they make their way into Christ Fellowship Church for a private service that the family requested, though Florida Highway Patrol is streaming that service because they know so many of you in the public have offered your condolences and support. Burial as his mother, father, fiance gathered there. With the support, Mick McHale, Florida Police Benevolent Association, you said we talk about from across our 67 counties, but across the country and across the world, we're seeing that respect as we look at those images in front of us being played out. How far away have people come to say, I need to be there today to pay my respects?
Well, you have individuals that have come as far away as England and quite possibly Australia. It is not uncommon when we lose a law enforcement member in the United States that an honorary detail is sent across the continent, to across the pond for that matter, to come and pay their final respects. Also, when you look around, you see that there are many retirees who are members of law enforcement that put on their uniform respectfully from Chicago, New York, New Jersey, so many to speak of. They still have their honorary uniforms. They put those uniforms on today to pay the ultimate respect to a fallen brother.
As we see the members, hundreds upon hundreds of them making their way inside to Christ Fellowship Church. Mick McHale, it's that unbreakable bond. We talk about it all the time. Speak to it yourself about that bond that cannot be broken, because only your brothers and sisters in the law enforcement community can truly understand the kind of sacrifices, kind of dangers that you all say you'll willingly face each day, and sometimes, most tragically, split-second moments, decisions, confrontations that, as we said earlier, sadly last an eternity for a family and for his brothers and sisters in the community.
Well, it goes without saying, it's not a cliche. We put on our uniform on a daily basis, never knowing if we're going to make it home. And on this day, we are reminded of that possibility, attending the funeral of Trooper Zachary Fink.
Sir, I thank you for your time. And Holly and Ashley, we know that as you sit here, like an entire community, the images, the gathering, say far more than any of our words can about this day and about the support of this community for Trooper Zachary Fink, 26 years old.
Yeah, Michael, I know you touched on it a little bit, but whether outward or inward, the emotions here are so high. There's a thickness in the air. And in many ways, it's a gut punch. As we watch the motorcycles and they process by, that rumbling really just drove home the reason why we're here today. These men and women, they sign up, they operate by the creed, no sacrifice too great. And so we've seen the turnout today for somebody who lived their life by that motto.
These moments that we've been watching with you, emotional, as you said, powerful, and it was just, I was struck by hundreds and hundreds of law enforcement officers from all over the state on motorcycles, in law enforcement vehicles. They're from everywhere, different departments all over the state, moving as one.
Yeah.
Moving as one unit in perfect harmony to honor Trooper
I got to
Fink.
tell you, one of the moments that really struck me too is there was an officer who was playing the bagpipes. He finished playing and then he kind of just stepped to the side and he dabbed his eyes, because it is just that emotional to know, especially in the days to come, what these families are going to be going through.